Here it is, folks. I'm building up like it's the fucking series finale. No, it's just season finale. I mean, I guess that's still pretty big, but it's not like the series is gonna end after this. No, it's episode 24. It's time for Dream Car Championship Plus. Some ground rules for the how the grid for this championship was decided. The cars that won a race in the 720 category between episodes 18 to 23 automatically clinched a spot in the on the starting grid for the championship. And then from there, it was down to every other 720 category car, save for Barbara's C7, which is still being worked on and fixed after her crash at High Speed Ring a couple episodes ago. And it was down to all the other, I think it's 29 cars, 29 720 class cars, and a couple of others that tried to qualify anyway just for the heck of it. At the very least, it's track time at Watkins Glen. It's a new circuit for the Challenge Series, so some drivers just wanted to get a few extra laps in. Of course, that's not the only, you probably see a glaring thing here. The top 14 720 class cars qualify for the event, but the one on the right is not blatantly not 720. That is Siegfried Brandt in his 680 class S13, who managed to qualify his way into the championship. He wasn't even the slowest car. On pace, he was like 10th overall, so he made it in by a couple spots. 10th out of 14 in a car, an entire division below everything else. That you can't just ignore that. Top of the timing sheets, Wayne Hansen, not really anyone's surprise. Now it's just a matter of if he can actually keep that same energy going through the championships races. As, well, if you recall in the original Dream Car Championship back in episode 12, he also ran the fastest lap. But he got absolutely nowhere near the title. So, maybe this time things will change. And as previously mentioned, this episode will be split into two. I know this ahead of hand because each race will be in excess of 10 minutes, meaning there's no way it would fit within an hour since there's 6 races. Plus there's, me talking, kind of doing my job. So, be split into 2 parts. They'll be uploaded roughly at the same time, maybe about a handful of minutes apart, but honestly a negligible difference. You probably wouldn't be able to finish watching the first one before the second one is posted. So, and that's assuming you clicked on it right when it uploaded, and that's almost impossible to time, because it's not like they're scheduled, and they're also going up probably like 7, 8 in the morning. But without further ado, let us head in to round 1. We are green from round 1, and it is the Glen. And you are not misreading that lap counter. I wasn't kidding. These are going to be 10-minute races or more. Well, actually, the main idea is how many laps does it take to run 25 miles. So, some will be longer than others because that's the length of the race will be based mostly on just average lap speeds, which they're pretty high at Watkins Glen. You seldom go below 60 miles an hour here. In fact, I don't actually think you do at all on a normal lap unless you crash. Not in these cars, especially as the POV car, Wayne. It's not a POV car, that's just a term that carries over from the America's Tour, because I could change the POV to whoever the hell I want. Rather, it's like the primary focus car. I guess it's the player car, in a sense, because, basically Wayne started last. He's already in not last. He's already up in 12th, looking for more than that. The ugly exit from Natsuki there, who is actually debuting a new car. Not a new car, but a completely new look for her existing one. her vehicle has evolved, and therefore it has to evolve externally as well. The keen eye will get the idea here as to why it looks so different, and a keen ear will also be able to tell that it's got a 787B engine in it. So that's how it's running in the 720 category and not immediately getting smoked. Whoa, Ryan. Heavy blocking from Ellie there. I forgot for like a quarter of a second I am, in fact, supposed to be commentating this race. As Hansen just gets a lot of curb, uses vert like a bath towel, and manages to get ahead just based on all-wheel drive alone. He's got a big advantage there, obviously. It cannot be understated how valuable all-wheel drive is in this kind of car, because there's not much downforce in play. I mean, we have the rear wing and the front bumper stuff on, I think, all of these cars. But there's still a lot of horsepower going to the wheels, and for them to be going to the rear wheels in most of these cars makes it sketchy. Cars like this Murcielago, or Honika's NSX, or Stillwell's GTR, though he's not using it very well at the moment. Very valuable to not crash, or to help with not crashing, anyway. Hansen's proved time and time again, you can still crash with all-wheel drive, but it's a little harder to do if you're not an idiot. And DePrisco gives him a nudge, and that puts him in the grass. I spoke that into existence, didn't I? I probably should have looked at the leaderboard before saying, oh, hi, Ryan. The outside. This hairpin is very slow, so it's been very long, so going around the outside is not easy, but with the amount of acceleration this Murcielago has, it makes it a little easier. Yeah, I mean, is anyone seriously surprised that that Wayne is getting into it with Dominic again? Again, a relatively minor thing. Monica tries to squeeze him onto a curb to defend. Relatively minor hit, not really going to take him out of the race. Kind of hard to do. There's a lot of runoff at a lot of turns here, so... Most of them, I should say. Most of the turns have a lot of runoff. The last corner does not. That would be a good place to take somebody out. And, well, we've seen people push each other off heading towards the bus stop before, multiple times. You could also punch somebody in the S's if you have enough speed difference. You could also punch somebody into the left-hander after the carousel, the one that descends into the boot section. What does Hansen do? Hansen gets moved out of the way. Hansen doesn't appreciate, and they've both turned each other again. Meanwhile, here we get a glimpse of what I saw from that. Goodbye. Ice has been absolutely demolished by that. He's got his car running, I think. Yes, he does. He's just having to not run into people. Gives the oncoming traffic enough time to realize he's parked there and then returns to the circuit. So, not a DNF for Ice, but that's a lot of lost positions considering he was the leader. And it's interesting because I think Hansen actually tried to give him like a fair race for a moment, which is kind of rare from this guy. And Ice understeered a tiny bit, or maybe he did that on purpose, who knows. It's hard to really be sure. I'm not Brian Ice. You know, some people actually do think I'm Canadian when they hear my voice. I'm not. I'm basically a Canada without universal health care and without gun control. But that's another topic for another time that I don't really plan on being around for that time, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't even like to think about it. I also like to think about the fact that I just got ratioed like that through the last turn. It's Wayne Hansen versus Mercury, as, well, not so much Honoka, but Nico, Reen, and myself are still behind him. Losing him, but behind him. At what point will we devolve into infighting for position? I don't know. But Ryan Wolf is going to fight for this position right now. He brakes aggressively at the second half of the zone, but is forced out wide, but so is Honoka. He does well to avoid a crash there. Also, I kind of forgot Ellie is in the race, and she's nowhere near. Ignore the drinking noises. I have a lot of talking to do. I need to make sure my throat is ready to do that talking. Ice, you want to shift. So Brandt is not doing much at the moment. Although for all intents and purposes, any car he's ahead of is a noticeable achievement, because he just generally shouldn't be ahead of anybody. He's in a lower category, ignoring all the horsepower. I don't really know why we consider him a 680 car when he clearly has the performance to be in 720. He's keeping with the pack. Roughly, there or thereabouts. I mean, obviously he's losing time in the corners, but he's getting it back on every straightaway, regardless of length. And then as soon as we are on a straightaway, he consumes. But the straightaways aren't actually that long here. The cornering speeds are high at Watkins Glen, but not the straight line speed. So this is, for all intents and purposes, a downforce circuit, which would normally benefit Travis Wild. He started third, or he ended up third in qualifying, because he was able to use all of his downforce. But now, in race pace, he has absolutely zero top speed, and he's only managing to keep one guy behind him. And that might change in a minute. Stillwell goes for a pass for 19th place. Somewhere along the way, Nico did pass Reen. So kept it brief though, obviously, because Nico didn't lose any time to me. Oh, she thinks she's funny. We've played these games with each other a lot. It's, you know, you never know when somebody will actually do that. So I guess the readiness test? I don't know. Maybe just because Nico likes fucking with me and everyone else, so I have learned. 2 laps to go. Ellie's, she is on the move. I believe she started behind, or she was behind Dominic the last time you looked at her. Obviously now she is not, and she is looking for a pass on Wheeler down towards the bus stop. She has a better run, but I don't know by how much. Enough to absolutely send it. Actually, Honeka's gonna get in her way. But that classic interaction of, I'm gonna go wide in the bus stop, and then force the person to your left wide, and they go wide in the bus stop instead. It didn't matter though, Ellie didn't take the place from that. Probably doesn't want to pass him that way. DePrisco's still there, but I don't know what he's waiting for. Or if he has the pace to do anything as he continues to wait. I was about to say Ryan Wolf is no man's land. He's not really. Honeka's definitely nearby. And then as a result, so are Burt Wheeler, Ellie, and Frisco. Oh, hi, Ice. Jesus. Brandt has begun to tumble down the order. I kind of wonder if this is what he expected would happen, if he just kind of did it for the joke and didn't think he'd get this far, or if he actually had expectations. It's hard to tell with Brandt. He's very cavalier in his personality traits. It's just that he gives off a confident vibe, but at the same time, you don't know how far that actually goes. Honeka's gotten back up to Wolf, but I think it's a day late and $1 short. Get a little more angle in there, why don't you, Dom? Well, despite my previous apprehension of will Wayne Hansen be able to capitalize on the speed of his vehicle, he will this time. He's gonna leave the last turn, and he is going to take the win at Watkins Glen and run the fastest lap of the race for good measure. So he's done step 1 for all purposes. Still never found a way around that 911, huh? You disappoint me. So, Hansen over 3 Mercury Racing cars. Ryan Wolf, Honeka, Vert, the last Mercury Racing car. Dom and Ice survive the run-ins with Mr. Hansen to still both finish inside the top 10. And I have some points to do up, and we'll be here for race 2. You're green from... oh god, we are green from race 2. It is at Trial Mountain. Another 8-lap race. This is going to be a long haul because laps here routinely run over 1:50. As compared to... well, actually it's not that much longer than a lap of Watkins Glen, all things considered. As lap 1 Hullabaloo carries out, the car focus this time is Kogasa, as she will, attempt to not finish where she started. Parker, not a fan of that idea, clearly. Almost turns Kogasa around. I think she might have known he was there. That's about the only degree of separation between a saved race car and a junked Jaguar. Use all of the roads. Somebody just hit a wall back there. Oh, hi, Brant. Let's follow the Magic Sylvia. Oh my god, we have entered fog. Ice just rear ends the S13. So we managed to eventually out corner. Oh, Ice, please control yourself. This hairpin's a mess. I don't know if really it's a hairpin or a chicane. It seems like it's a bit of both, as Kogasa just absolutely embarrasses Bert on the exit of that turn. And I think he started on pole position in her, her 787B RX-7 rotary monstrosity Frankenstein's monster. So I guess now we'll really see what that car can do if it manages to stay with the field or not. Likewise, Travis Wilde is actually sort of keeping pace too. It is quite misty here on the edge of time at Trial Mountain as Kogasa runs Hansen about out of road. Hansen's not phased, outbrakes her, but misses the exit of the turn. Barges into Kogasa on exit, and is he gonna get embarrassed on the outside? He sure is. Yeah, you just gotta hold that one, Wayne. Despite your efforts to block her off on the corner exit of the last turn, did not matter. Now you have your buddy Ice for company. The sun goes all the way down. Ice is sending it on Hansen. Remembers Watkins Glen, just shoves him up the track. As a matter of fact, or attempts to before. He pretty much used him as an apex. And he will drive off into the sunset, as far as Wayne Hansen's concerned. And it is a literal sunset. I mean, look at that. One form a single file line in front of the register. Neat. Seems as though Narashi is still managing to hang on to the lead, and Travis Wilde is still managing to hang on to P3. Kogasa has made her way to P8, might be P7 over Hikari, and she brakes late enough and cuts off the road, so yeah, P7. It's dark. Why does it seem like we never go to Trial Mountain in the daylight? Why do we always run these at night? I don't know. Really couldn't tell you. despite a compromised exit. Said exit is still better than Głażdżowski's, and she'll be up to P6, possibly 5 by the next corner. As out drags Nico with seemingly no effort. Sends it on Wild, who recently was also overtaken by Hoshizora, so he's starting to finally lose places. Considering who we're referring to here, Mizoto's playing this awfully calmly, especially when we know the gender of the car ahead is, you know, he's known sexist. All right, I'm surprised he just hasn't wrecked the woman that's ahead of him. Almost looked like he tried there, but it might have just been the perspective of this corner. It's hard to really be sure. A huge corner exit from the Jaguar driver just scorches ahead of that Viper. And that's a lap 3 seconds faster than the leader managed. So, Kugasa is schmoovin', as they would say. Where she just ran through the S's there, you'd really be hard-pressed to deny that. Now Travis Wild was overtaken by his buddy Eric in the F12. For some reason my brain always wants to say 512. That's not what that is. This is ahead of Ellie, but he hasn't made any more progress since, surprisingly. Considering the fact that this is now just the great Eric train of 2022 back here for P5. And I totally missed Kogasa getting ahead of Mizoto. And Green might be doing the same thing. She's got a bit of a run going on him towards the next turn. But she does not brake aggressively. Probably because she doesn't want to get anywhere near this jackass. I don't blame her. Kogasa is catching for the lead very quickly, may have a chance at her into the final corners. Especially if she botches the corner exit like that. Oh, just lick the staff and send it, Kogasa. Natsuki does not really afford a whole lot of real estate, but Kogasa don't need your stinking real estate. She has horsepower and she has corner exit speed. But Natsuki doesn't need any of that either. She'll just send it herself. Return to sender by sending. Maybe you should be sponsored by FedEx or maybe UPS or something. I don't know. UPS sponsored Ferrari for a while. I don't know. I don't think they still do, but they used to. I don't think, however, that any shipping company has ever sponsored a Jaguar or a Ferrari. Ferrari? Mazda. But this is now a Ferrari, guys. I don't know if you've heard. The new Ferrari RX-7 came out in the year 1972. I do not know what I'm talking about. Speaking of not knowing, Travis Wild is now really beginning to feel the burn, as he's almost out of the top 10. I reckon by the end of the next big straightaway, he will be out of the top 10, because he's got Ellie and Wayne and Brant in his mirrors, and they are going to have a lot more top speed than the GT1 car. Kogasa started to pull away from everyone else. That's a very long fourth gear. A very loud one, for that matter. Ice has overtaken Taniguchi in the recent past. His next goal is the R8 ahead. If he can manage. I mean, he's got 3 laps to do it. I guess more if you can manage, just based more off of time than off of, or more off of speed than off of time. If he has the speed, he has the time. As Kogasa has made an ugly mistake. Not quite sure what happened there. Look at the replay and see what's happened. Oh, she locked the rears up. Barely keeps it off of the wall. That was nearly a disaster, but instead she just loses 2 places. And probably a bit of rubber off her tires, but a lot better than losing the car entirely, or at least losing the race entirely off of one brake misjudgment. Back down the inside of the F430. Uses him up a tiny bit, but I mean, I don't even think he moved his car over. I think it was just using him as a secondary wall. We are going to have round 2 between Natsuki and Kogasa. Kogasa does not elect to dive into this hairpin, but gets such a big exit out of it that she probably was wiser not to, but Natsuki closes the door in the braking zone, and Kogasa will have to keep waiting. But probably not for a whole lot longer. Especially when Natsuki gets that out of shape heading into the tunnel. Natsuki has chosen her lane, she's chosen the inside. Kogasa therefore moves to the right. Out-braking maneuvers in play. And Mizoto, I kind of expected him to descend it here. He's behind 2 of his worst enemies. Kogasa loose out of that hairpin. Is that a hairpin? I don't even know, but she still manages to stay ahead of Mizoto for now. He's more sliding away from Natsuki. I get it, you're a semi-pro drifter. You don't have to keep rubbing it in. That's weird. I didn't think the F-Type would have a speedometer in miles per hour. I figured it'd be Ks. It's about neutral on corner exit, but Kogasa has slipstream. And she's got plenty of space between her and the F430 behind, so this should be the path to take the lead back. And it is. Natsuki actually does kind of hang there, but not for long. Kogasa out of shape! Kogasa's got her drifting skills of her own, I guess, or just really good reaction times. I guess as somebody who likes to scare people, she'd also better be used to some unexpected surprises from her vehicle. Mizoto is all over the rear wing of that RX-7, but he has yet to do anything with that. Speaking of not doing anything, anyone else in the field. This has really just been a never-ending train. I think the only overtake that's happened since we last looked outside the top 3 was Wojciechowski got ahead of Shizuru. That's it. I think other than that, it's exactly the same. That's quite a camera. It just peers out into the void that is Trial Mountain at nighttime. You can only see what your headlights are illuminating, as I don't know how, but Kogasa has lost the lead, lost all her time advantage over Narashi. I'm having a meltdown with the camera angles, and now Nico's getting aggressive, but Kogasa didn't like that. He nudges him out of the way. But combat continues. I thought Nico was about to just go straight that. Supposed to refer to that the other way. To avoid confusion. Risotto, I thought was going to go straight to the quarter panel. Managed to stop. Thought he was going to do it again. Now Wojciechowski has joined the fray. Not the foray? There's only one A there. Alright, round, what is this, 4 between these two? Kogasa keeps making the pass, and then as soon as she makes it, keeps making a mistake and letting her back into the race. For the 4th time, Kogasa has moved into the lead of the race. Does she actually stay there this time? We'll find out next time on Challenge Series Z. Or at least within the next minute and a half, you'll probably find out. Well, Eric sees the moment here at any point. He's pretty laid back in driving. He doesn't take me as much of an opportunist. So it'd take a major conniption for him to grab any places. It'd also take him changing gears. It's like these three are about dead even. And this is the last good passing zone. Mizoto will take it and get to the inside of Narashi, heading into the hairpin on the ridge. Kogasa massively out of shape again. Just a tank slapper right there, and she's got to save the car for almost an entire straightaway. She just about manages to, making it her second big save of the race and third overall. As the sun's starting to come back up, it was morning when we started, it was like afternoon when we started. Kogasa gets back to the inside of Mizoto, so this is going to be the run to the finish, more or less. Heading to the hairpin, Mizoto brakes later, puts Kogasa on that curb. That's not a great camera at all. A dramatic cutaway. There we go, this is better. So he forces Kogasa onto that sausage curb, and when we fade back out, they've both bottomed out into the wall. That is quite a... I'm not selling it well, but that's a very dramatic ending, because now I think Natsuki wins the race. They've Hamilton Verstappen each other. Yeah, Kogasa can't turn anymore. She's bottomed out and stuck to Mizoto's car. Backs into him for good measure. And so, with that bombshell, Natsuki Narashi is going to grab the victory from pole at Trial Mountain. Eric and Reen will finish the podium with her. And it's a 3-4-7. I don't know where the hell I was in this race. I'm not sure my wheels were attached. Presco wins a drag race for P13. I stagnated. I didn't do shit. That's the truth. I didn't do shit. So following the fake Verstappen Hamilton moment, like we're over here in Monza, that's later, guys. Natsuki wins from third going into the final corners, and the two previous leaders are demoted to, it looks like, 8th and 10th on the results screen. I'm sure knowing Mizoto, not Nico, not that one. Knowing this Nico, that's not going to be terribly popular later on, or even in the immediate future. I think I see a disgruntled Italian man walking with clenched fists throughout the garage area. I think I might be needed elsewhere in a second. I don't like the look on his face. That's the look of the only trial on this mountain is of my patience, and oh boy, you did not make the time limit. And we were green from the third round in the episode as the engines off the grid make it sound like there's a terrible wind going through here. The harmonics of the car as we're in the tunnel at the start of Tokyo Expressway. Mizoto's the focus car as he starts last. He's already being blocked by somebody and already honking at somebody. I think he spends half his Challenger Series career honking at people who slightly inconvenience him. He's already gained 8 places into just literally a singular turn. Almost had a 9th, but Brandt's got too much horsepower to lose it that way. Although now he might. Closes the door on Brant gets the place on ice, bumps the wall, and slides horrendously out of the little S there. That's an aggressive idea, but he made it stick. Hansen's probably got question marks over his head right about now, figuratively speaking. Stillwell tried to come back at him, but it just did not work. And into the hairpin for the first time of many in this one. Only 6 laps because this track is actually pretty long. It's 4.5 miles a lap, making it one of the longer ones in the game as a whole. Even longer than Spa, which is saying a lot. But we have this Fuji lane, front straight that'll make Fuji look like a mini drag strip. That cuts down a lot of lap time because, you know, to scorch down this thing in excess of 200 miles an hour, as we are seeing here. Misoto in and out of the draft of Johnny Parker. Up to 200 and almost 215, I think, for a second before he pulled out of the draft. And he gets ahead under braking. I think I also saw him catch a bit of air as Nico ahead gets slammed to the wall by Eric. Misoto will send it on me absolutely amateurishly and instead just slam into me. Down the inside of Eric, who puts up resistance on the outside and manages to hold on to 4th for the moment. Goes on the outside of Eric, who slides up into Misoto and puts him in the wall. Misoto gives him a bumper's worth of, or a fender's worth of displeasure, and he'll be on his way. Misoto hits the wall again. I sometimes forget that there are, in fact, other cameras. Monica leads from Dominic, and then Nico behind, and then the other Nico behind her. If I'm me, who else would I be? I don't particularly like where this is going. I myself am even kind of seeing this from here. Back up to the 200 plus mark. I think Yazawa just blocked Misoto there because I heard another horn go off. She did it twice, in fact. This can only end well, I assure you. He lied unconvincingly. Yeah, I mean, Nico just walls Misoto. That's not gonna be a popular one with the F430 driver. You know, make the womanizer something completely different. Make the sexist maniac even angrier at you. That sounds like a great idea, Nico. Although that said, he could have passed you a few corners ago if he really wanted to. So I'm really concerned now. Because now he's playing with his food for all intents and purposes. Continues to beep, continues to knock the paint off her bumper. Now he decides to maybe pass, and Nico holds station. Defends that position from Misoto. Oh, Jesus! So Nico defends into this right-hander, which puts her offline. She hits the wall and collects the other Nico. She manages to pretty smoothly 360 that, actually, despite, you know, this was technically, for all intents and purposes, an unforced error from Yazawa. He takes that wall. Misoto's not ready for that mistake. And she just 360s that bitch. Zoto not quite as fortunate, has to manually get his car back going again, and I don't know if he wasn't pissed before. Oh man, he's looking like Mount Vesuvius right now. He's about to blow his damn top, I think. And some aggressive braking under the hairpin. Yep. Yep. There's some contact. Could have done the job right there if he really felt like it. More contact. More contact. Oh no! Oh my lord. Yep. That's what he was waiting on. He was waiting on that pit wall. I think Nico probably... Oh, hi Eric. Yes, this is definitely him being a maniac, but also... Nico could have gone into the pits. What's worse, a speeding penalty or hitting the pit wall at 152 miles per hour? I'm going to go ahead and say the speeding penalty because this is a crash that could literally have killed Nico. That pit wall is going straight into the driver. Sure, the Viper's got a pretty big hood, but don't abuse it. And Mizuto gets off literally scot-free. Nico gets tagged by multiple other cars, Ice more heavily than the others. More contact continues behind as Brandt scurries his way through. I'm amazed this kid's even still conscious after that. Let alone able to drive a car at pretty high speed, actually going faster than me. And I didn't crash on the straightaway. I guess I had to slow down, but still. Ice is there. Parker is giving her a nudge. Ice is... okay. Brian Ice is not really looking much better right now. I think Nico just kind of let Ellie by there. As we return our attention to the leaders, Mizuto has caught Dom and Honoka battling for the lead, and by battling I mean Dom just kind of sitting behind her waiting for the right moment. Mizuto, though, elects that the moment is right now. Oh, he locks the brakes and slams into Honoka. That actually really didn't hurt either one of them that badly. I also think I just saw outside of the world there for a moment. Yeah, more honking of displeasure from Mizuto. Do we really expect anything else at this point? That's all he does. He honks at people and he wrecks them. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's not really that bad. Certainly not when compared to the attempted homicide on Nico Yazawa a minute ago. And mind you, from that panel shot we saw there, she's still going. I don't know how that kid's even alive. That seems like... how's the car still running? How's your car running? Somehow it's running at all. I don't know. Mizuto out-drags Dom down the main straightaway. Dom will pick up the slipstream and attempt to stay with him. He gets a little loose. There is a bump there, obviously. We're cresting a hill. The car doing 200 some miles an hour might get a little unsteady up that. Dom... there it is. Dom goes for it. Dom... God, I think he deserved that. I don't know if Dom did that on purpose. But, I hope that time the collision makes no noise. Yeah, move for the lead. Dom... I think kind of looking at it, he literally lets out of the steering there. That was intentional. He just exacted like vigilante justice on Mizuto for that. Honestly, bravo. Like, round of applause, because probably deserves it, considering that had all of the makings of just absolute death, like actual death. Mizoto is back. Dom takes the quarter panel. That means Mizoto can't. Oh, another one from Dom. Another takedown. And again, this one looked kind of somewhere in the gray area. Oh, it's brutal, but karma. Dom DePrisco is Karma's chameleon today. Holy shit. He has seen everything he needs to know. And he's adding another Italian vehicle to his shit list. I didn't know Dom was also a justice warrior, as Mizoto gets into the back of Honoka again, but he's on his way, and he's blocking the brakes, tail spinning into the hairpin, but kind of made it look like a reverse entry. I would admit that that looked kind of stylish if he wasn't being an absolute fucking douche canoe about it. Thomas 458 is relatively limited in top speed. The F430 is absolutely not. But the block. Was that a block? It sounds like it was a block from Mizoto's end. Now they both kind of moved. I think he was expecting him to go right further. They both moved though, so that's just racing incident. I'm amazed the F430 is running at this point. I mean, the collision, the lumps it's taken, certainly has to have equated to a pretty bad damage by this point. Doesn't seem like it's running that way though. Too wide again. This can only end well between the two Ferrari drivers. It looks kind of clean there, actually. That was, considering what these two were just doing to each other, that looked pretty professional. Goes for down the inside, relatively clean again. It's quite a battle considering these three have hit each other. Or these two have hit each other 3 times. DePrisco avenging Nico's practical death. I say Nico, Dom avenging his death, and walls Mizoto once more. Ow. Loses on exit. Uh-oh, that's not what you want to do. Did you just blow his motor? Yeah, he did. He's got the hazards on. This car's not moving. His car's finally given up. 5 wall impacts later, his F430 has finally quit on him. His engine's blown out, and he's gonna DNF. He's actually gonna finish behind the person he put into the pit wall at 150 some miles an hour. And the social justice warrior, as negative as a term as that kind of sounds like, he is the knight, he is the vigilante, and he is Dom DePrisco, the winner at Tokyo Expressway. Quite a victory, considering he also wrecked Nico Mizoto 4 times along the way. And baited him into a 5th mistake just by getting on his nerves so much. I suppose, you know, there are no rules in street racing other than the ones that Dom wants to enforce. He's been wronged so many times. It's about time he's paying the favor back, and it's not just to Mr. Hansen at this point. Siegfried Brandt and Honoka Kosaka are the podium finishers. Brandt taking second away on the final straightaway of the race. Looks like he's gotten his motor back up and running again, but he is... I think he was in the pit lane just there, and his car was not moving very fast and didn't look very good, so... That was just simply ugly. Nico, despite being smacked into a wall at top speed, smacked into a median actually, the pit wall at 152 miles an hour, she manages to soldier on, finish the race, and grab a top 10 anyway. It's a trooper right there. That's just inhuman durability. Or some really good safety features on that Viper, because that's a DNF pretty much anywhere else. I don't know how she's still running. I don't know how she's still awake. I don't know about you, but if I took a pit wall to the face at 150 miles an hour, I'd be taking a nap. If I'm not dead. Look me up when I'm not in Tokyo anymore. Anyway, on to race 4. Or hopefully we have a little bit less, you know, murder. A quick rundown of the point standings before we end things here for the first part of the episode. The points battle is a tie between Wayne Hansen and Nico Yazawa. They're at 46 apiece. That's a weird looking sky. Eric Wojciechowski, third with 44. Reen, fourth at 41. DePrisco and Ice are tied at 40. Followed by Ellie at 39, Kogasa at 38, me at 36, Honoka 34, Brandt 33, Ryan Wolf and Natsuki tied for 12th at 32, Vert at 30, Cam Walker at 26, Hikari at 22, Rico Mizoto, following that DNF, is down to 19, tied with Parker for 17th. Travis Wild, 19th in points at 7, and James Stillwell last in points with just 6. Now, the unfortunate thing is... Hey, that's for the next... I'm not supposed to mention that the next episode. Cut!